Hello and welcome to the Endless Honeymoon Podcast.
My name is Moshe.
And I'm Natasha.
We're a married couple, but we're also comedians.
I have a question, Moshe.
Yes?
What do you love more, shoes or pants?
That's a great question, and I'm glad you asked.
Because you're kind of a clothes whore.
The truth is, Natasha, so are you.
Not.
You're not?
No, you are obsessed with new pants.
You're telling me that
I've never seen someone have more pants come to the house.
You're telling me that you don't constantly buy clothing?
I don't.
You do.
I like to wear the same thing 3 days in a row.
Natasha.
What?
You're talking as though you're like Adam Sandler. When in fact, you're like fucking Meghan Markle. I mean, what are you talking about? You always give me shit about how many clothes I have. You have I could walk up to you. I would like to bring the camera upstairs to open your closet to see the retching tsunami of vintage gear that you haven't worn in over a decade. How many pairs of elbow-length gloves do you think you own?
Probably like 40 or something.
40. When's the last time you wore elbow-length gloves?
It's probably been, a good 8 years.
Yeah. So
no, but actually I was just thinking I wanted to start wearing gloves again, but like short ones, like maybe, but the kind I want to start wearing, I don't have.
So you should get them.
I want like short black gloves, but like
driving gloves?
Yeah, but not heavy leather, like
cute.
More breathable.
Driving gloves.
Yeah, but like lightweight, like spring driving gloves.
Spring driving gloves? And you're talking to me about how many shoes I have? The truth is, Natasha, I need some new shoes, and I'm glad you reminded me of that. And I bought a pair of pants yesterday, and they're on their way. They're getting sent.
Okay, can I just say something?
You can.
I've known you for almost probably 11 or 12 years.
You've known me much longer than that.
And I'm just now realizing the face you make and the expression when you drop something on your pants is like your deepest, like
my rages,
most rage. Yeah, because you're like, ah! And then I'll look and I'm like, what happened? And you're like, I dropped something on my pants.
Fucking hate.
Oh, or when our kid like touches your pants.
Yeah. When is she going to learn? Don't step on my shoes. Don't touch my pants. I mean, it's like not complicated. There's not that many rules in the house. I'm a loving father.
If I was your kid, I would be stepping on your shoes.
Oh, on purpose? Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Because I know how upset it makes you.
Why would you want to upset me if you were my child?
Because it'd be fun and funny to see you.
I never upset my parents. I was a very respectful kid, and I loved them. Natasha.
Yes, Moshe.
You should be lucky that the man that you chose cares about the way he looks. I could look like some dump truck like every other male stand-up comedian. Okay?
No, I like that you dress up and dress nice. Oh, and I have to say at the Oscars last night, all the men have stylists now. It's kind of cute.
Let me tell you this about stand-up comedians. There's two phases. There's broke schlub, and then there's rich idiot. They go, broke schlub lasts a decade, and then rich idiot takes over, and then they just start like, either they get a stylist that dresses them like completely incongruous with their actual style, or they just start buying things from the couture rack. You'll see it. It's all of a sudden, so you just wear a $9,000 leather jacket, but you still don't have style?
Listen, I think that...
I've been styling since the early 90s. You're lucky.
I hear you, but I think that actors and comedians, I think most people aren't that stylish
actors
naturally.
Dress better than comedians.
I don't think that's true. They just have more regular stylists.
No. I'm telling you, comedians are whack. They're sexual predators, and they can't dress. And more importantly, they can't dress. Let me say this about my clothes. I've told you maybe a dozen times, clothes are my hobby, and I will never stop dressing cool and never stop buying clothes.
Buying things is not a hobby.
For me, it is. Looking good and fashion is my hobby, and you should just deal with it. I'm never going to change that. I like it about me. Would you rather me be slowly transitioning into a person that doesn't care? Because that's what happens in America. Old people slowly transition into people that don't care about the way they dress, and then they start looking like they ran into a Marshall's with their eyes closed, doing a supermarket sweep. That's America. In Europe, for some reason, the old people all look cool. I don't know what that's about, why they have that going on. I mean, they don't look hip. They look like old style.
It's called being worldly and having a personal style. It's called personal style. Like you shouldn't like hire a stylist and then when you're home you look like absolute trash.
Stylists are for cowards. I
mean, I
they're
don't
a
think that's true.
very important industry, and I support them completely.
I think they help people reach their
They help whack
fashion goals. No, I like stylists. Stylists
You work
have
with
helped.
a stylist.
I've worked with stylists before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually they're my friends, but
I'm just kidding.
it's because I think they have better style.
Hey, stylists. I'm joking. I apologize.
I would pay someone who has slightly more attuned style in some areas than me.
I don't think anybody does, honey.
If I could.
I would say your butt and the way you dress is 85% of why we're together. And your personality is a hard 15.
What about the kid I birthed you?
We didn't have a kid when we got together. That came much
The kid
later.
I would eventually give birth to.
You think I started dating you because of your birthing hips and the potential of your breeding stock?
I mean, people do.
Do they?
Of course. You don't think people pick partners that they think might be smart or attractive?
You don't
they
think
could have a baby that...
You don't think that if I was with you specifically, if I was picking a mate specifically for breeding stock, I would have picked somebody slightly taller? Let's go to our first caller.
Wait, hold on. I picked you because I thought you'd be a good dad.
You know, our kid has been saying, am I short? And I've been like, yeah. And she's like, why am I short? And I go, well, that's because that's how your body is. And she goes... She's like complaining about it. And I go, is mom short? And she goes, yes. I go, and is mom powerful? And she goes, yeah. I go, is mom a queen? She was like, no. But I was like, I think she is. Short women are powerful. So just so you know, I got your back in that way.
I like hanging out with 20-year-olds. Like all of my, or like people in their 20s, every time they address me, they call me queen.
You are a queen.
I like it.
Okay, let's talk to a king. We're going to go ahead and call Luke in Denver.
Luke in Denver.
Hey, Tosh. Tosh? Oh, yeah, that's right. There is no Tosh because I'm in quarantine and I've been laying in bed for almost 27 hours. But guess what brings me great comfort in laying in that bed? My Helix mattress. Yeah, even when I'm miserable, it's a great pleasure to be able to stay in a mattress that was custom made just for me. Or at least it feels like that. I took the Helix Sleep Finder quiz, and it made a mattress that made my back problems go away and made me almost grateful when I went down with COVID for the second time. I'm not joking when I say Helix is the most comfortable mattress I've ever slept in. My kid sleeps in a Helix mattress because they make special ones just for kids. My wife, Natasha, she used to sleep really hot until we got a cool topper on that bad boy. Helix brings everybody together. And don't even get me started on the lovemaking we do on that thing. If you'd like to sleep like the hosts of the Endless Honeymoon podcast, well, Helix is now offering you a crazy deal. I would say it's the best deal yet. All you have to do is go to helixsleep.com/honeymoon and use the code HelixPartner20 and you'll get 20% off all mattress orders with 2 free pillows. This is the best offer they've ever made, and it will not last long. In fact, I might be out of quarantine by the time this expires, so you better get on it now. Get your Helix mattress and start sleeping well.
Luke.
Hey there. How you guys doing?
We're terrified now that we're looking at your saw collection.
Luke, you cannot take zooms like that.
I mean, this is scary. Okay, they're nice. Okay.
I mean, they're cool, but it's like they're saws. They're weapons.
They are. My grandfather painted them. I'm actually visiting my grandparents, and we filmed an interview with my grandma for her 92nd birthday.
Oh, cute.
And he paints these saws every time they go on vacation.
Okay,
oh my God. My heart is just melted.
For somebody with nothing but blade decorations, that's about as adorable a story as we could have anticipated.
Wait, every time they go somewhere, he would return. Oh,
where are
I want
those
to
places?
do that.
Yes, he takes their pictures. He prints out the pictures, and then he very delicately, honestly, he's like an excellent painter, and there are many saws. You're seeing maybe a quarter of them.
Because the truth is, Luke, I'm going to be like really honest with you. With your haircut, you look like a man who attacks people with saws. Like you look like an action hero who does saw attacks. And now I didn't anticipate Grandpa's just nostalgically creating memories on those saws.
Yeah, it would definitely ruin the beautiful painterly vibe if they all had blood all over
Yeah,
them.
yeah, that's
So,
true.
we'll try to avoid that.
That'd be cool if you, when he dies, God forbid, he'll live 100 years, but you go down to his basement and there's a whole other set of saws and it's all the people he's killed, but they're commemorated in paint.
Yeah, he should be commemorating all the events.
Yes,
Good
that's
that
right.
wars and tragedies
Yeah,
and
yeah,
family
yeah.
members that have passed. And,
This is
all the things.
This is the COVID saw, dude, the great pandemic. Okay, what's up? How can we help?
Yeah, so I wanted to start by saying that, Moshe, it's going to sound like buttering your bread a little bit, but it is relevant, which is I feel like most of the time when people call in, I have the same exact response that you do, which is like have an open conversation and just
Yeah.
like be honest. So that is something that my partner and I have already had about this situation. So just wanted to say that up front.
Oh, you weren't buttering my bread. You were telling me not to bother with my typical canned response.
Well, so let's go a level deeper.
Yeah, okay, let's go
one step
deep.
further.
So it's really a critique. It's not really buttering my bread. You know what, dude?
No. It's an agreement. It's
Yeah.
a full agreement.
Okay.
Yeah, so my partner and I, we've been together for 4 years. We have really good communication. We have like very aligned values. We get along really well. Like we have the same sense of humor. But the issue is that we have very different energy differences. I am super extroverted. I like book out my calendar. I love having tons of things to do. I'm always hanging out with friends. When the two of us hang out, we don't live together, but I like cook for us and plan our meals. And I also plan like concerts and events and things that we go to. She is very much like the opposite. She's super introverted and she's happy to spend a full weekend just like reading on the couch. She's happy to like participate in things that we do a lot of the times, but if there's more than like one or two things that's happening, she like bows out or she gets overwhelmed. So the question is like, it's not really something we can like talk through or compromise on. Like we have pretty different like fundamental nervous systems. So I was curious like how you guys think about maybe your energy differences and like if you've had relationships like that in the past or how you'd kind of approach this, moving forward.
Listen, honey, you come from a long line of people who paint on saws.
Yeah.
You're type A and she's not. And really what is going to happen is you're going to have to suck it up. And you're going to have to kind of be in charge of that stuff. And maybe there's like one thing you could get from her in terms of like maybe sharing her calendar.
But she doesn't want to go out at all, is what he's saying, right?
She doesn't want to, or she doesn't want to plan anything.
She feels like you're pressuring her to go out more than she's comfortable with. Is that correct?
Yeah, and there's not so much like a pressure element. Like we've been together long enough where if she's like, I don't want to go to the bar, she'll just say that and she just won't go. But I think it's more like, neither of us wants kids and I kind of want to fill my life with like adventure and lots of activity and like do things with her. But like, for example, if we're traveling, I'm someone who like gets up early, like makes the most of the day, sees all the sights I can see and like gets after it. And she's like happy to sleep till 9, have a slow cup of coffee, like kind of stroll around. And it's just, those differences are pretty stark.
Have you thought about having an open conversation with her about this? That would be my go-to kind of.
Why can't you trade off?
Yeah.
I mean, you think I want to always do what Moshe wants. I don't really want to go camping, but I'm like, okay, I'll go camping. It'll be fun. I'll make the most of it. Of course, I'd rather be in my bed drinking coffee.
Yeah.
But then some days we'll stay at a nice hotel because I've asked and we get to do that. And you kind of have to like balance it. And if she doesn't ever want to do, if you always feel like because when I go with Moshe, I try to do it happily.
Yeah, I've noticed that, Natasha. But no, I think that Natasha's onto something. It's like, I think what I have learned in my relationship with Natasha specifically, because we do have very different energetic needs for sure, is there's two things. One is that we each need to take a step toward the other person. Each person has to take a step away from their exact comfort zone. And we've negotiated that in a million different ways, specifically with hotels. Like my thing, I have a feeling we're kind of similar. My thing is like a hotel needs to have Wi-Fi and a comfortable bed because that's all I need, because the point of me being in this city is to go see that city. I'm not here to luxuriate in a bedroom. I've got one of those at home. But Natasha's thing is like her joy is like, having a great space and waking up and having a veranda, and she'll pay the extra to get there, and that makes the price point makes me uncomfortable, especially because it's not something I even desire.
Oh,
right?
but don't you enjoy it when you're not in just a hotel room with good internet and a bed?
Well, that's what I was going to say is like over the years, like she's taken a step towards me in that we go out more or we go camping or we do.
Because camping's free.
It's not free.
Well, it's free in a way because we have an RV.
Well, at any rate, you've taken a step towards me in that way, and I've taken a step towards you in like I not only have I surrendered to the fact that that's a part of our travel experience, but I've slowly grown to enjoy that part of the travel experience. Like in that way, like my default setting is what kind of you're talking about with you and your partner. My default setting has changed ever so slightly. And to me, that's like what partnership is. It's not just that you both make sacrifices for the other, but it's also that slowly over time, you start to appreciate that part of that person's nervous system, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And together you grow as people because you're more rounded out. You've compromised. But, I think you're kind of at the point where you're like, is this the partner for me? Is this the person? Do we share enough of this, interests to go the long haul?
Yeah.
We've gotten to Natasha's stock advice, which is break up.
Well, I feel like Natasha either goes break up or just lie to them, tell them everything's good.
Or
go the lying route.
Or go to a John Waters movie. But the other thing I was thinking about was not just that, because that's like the long-term plan, is that you'll never really change. She'll never really change, but you guys can take a step toward one another so that you find a compromise. But the other thing that Natasha's really good at, and I think I'm pretty good at it too, is encouraging the other person. If I need to go out, or if I need what I need, it's like encouraging the other person to go do the thing that they need on their own. Like finding an individual space without your partner that satisfies your need to go, and allowing her the opportunity to chill out. And you don't have to do everything together, but you have like agreed upon things. Like our RV thing, I think is the perfect example. We go on 1 or 2 big RV trips a year. Natasha, it isn't exactly firmly in her comfort zone. She would probably rather do like a luxury trip, through Europe or whatever. But she comes on those trips and we camp, and then it's understood that we're gonna find a hotel every 3rd or 4th day, and we're gonna stay in a cool little hotel, and we're gonna like do the trip the way that works for the both of us. But when I need more than that, I go off on my own, and she's very understanding and allows me to do that.
Listen, Luke, underneath it all, Moshe and I both really do like new experiences and like to travel and have like really like open minds about like new things. So I'm saying if you kind of are getting the feeling that she's like a watch TV kind of gal, and she just really isn't going to meet you there ever in terms of appetite for adventure, I think that's something to really think about.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Yeah, because it does sound like, clearly you guys have found ways to compromise. And Moshe, does it like bum you out when you're
at a really nice hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you cry on the veranda?
Yeah, are you like in the hot tub?
There's
like
nothing worse than looking over the south of France on a veranda.
Well, here's the thing. Moshe's interests have made me better, and they've made me like heighten my appreciation for nature. And my interests have brought Moshe, some new
it's true.
things about himself that he didn't know,
Specific to travel and experiences, I fundamentally didn't understand that a hotel could be part of the experience of a vacation. Like that wasn't even a part of. I never cared, and it's still not what I would do if I was off on a trip on my own, like find the ultimate hotel and basically never leave it. But those kinds of vacations are interesting and enjoyable. So yeah, I think both shifted in a way specific to travel. And
also I think that our thing goes deeper in another way, which is like we also have like childhoods were reenacting in a way, you know? Like I never went on a vacation as a child. And so like I have this like idea in my head that I need them. I need to be able to go on one for like my kid because
you want to give her what you didn't get. Yeah. I get that. Wait.
Like, but also like compulsively.
Well, we don't go on vacations compulsively.
No, but I'm saying like I compulsively want to give her what I didn't have. And sometimes I'm like, I feel like I need to have a parenting expert on to explain to me if I shouldn't be doing that.
Luke, maybe you could answer that. You don't want kids and you have a saw collection. You seem like a good person to. But wait, you were going to ask me, am I bummed about what?
Well, like, for example, like you love to go to Burning Man. And I know like Natasha's gone a few times, sounds like maybe hasn't gone a few times. Are there situations like that where you're, feeling maybe unfulfilled or less fulfilled than maybe you quote feel like you should because you wish your partner was there and like it's something you'd rather be doing with your partner?
That's a great question. And the answer is like, yes, I wish that Natasha had fallen in love with it the way that I did, or at least enough that she would come and accompany me. But I have made peace with the fact that she's like her own person and that didn't happen for her. So the experience for me is one of frustratedly looking at naked women walking by and thinking of my wife at home. Like
but you kind of like that I don't care that you go to Burning Man.
Well, this is her taking a step towards me and me taking a step towards her, like in the negative. Right? My step towards her is like accepting that she's not going to come with me anymore. And that if I want to keep going to Burning Man, it's going to be like a boys trip or whatever. And it helps that I went before she arrived on the scene, obviously. But yeah, I do wish she was like, I want to go. That would be more fun for me. But her step towards me is that she's like, though I don't want to go, I understand it's important to you. And I'm not going to give you shit. I'm not going to give you much shit for going for a week every year without me, even though I could use the help with the kid, even though it would be nicer if you were here. I recognize that that's important. So I think, I hate this is sounding dangerously like an open conversation, but I think like the secret to success long-term is for you guys to like, to kind of accept each other for where you're at and know that it's probably not going to change. Find the things that you are down to do together and then find the things that you need to do apart.
I think that actions speak louder than words too. I think having the open conversation, you've already done that. Now you need to try to enact it. Mm-hmm. So you need to plan something and see if she can keep up, and you can even tell her, we're going blank. Let's say we're going to go somewhere
we're going saw hunting, for example. Yeah.
But also it's like, going to movies, like if
John
she
Waters?
doesn't. No, but I'm saying it's not just vacations he's talking about.
Of course.
He's talking about in general on the weekends. I think maybe the weekend is a good example of like one day doing fun stuff and scheduling it, and the next that's kind of hard.
No, I kind of agree with what you're saying. Like I would say the challenge for you, Luke, would be to plan a trip. I know we're just doing vacations, but plan a trip where the goal is to do nothing and you plan it. It's like step out of your own comfort zone and you say, okay, we're going to go to...
And camping's good too because you can like, I don't know.
The whole point is to chill out and watch things go by. But I think you planning a trip where the goal is to do it her way, because that's what I find happens with me and Natasha, is we talk a big game about like walking towards each other, but in the end, we really still want what we want. And so once in a while, planning a trip where like the stated goal is I'm planning it, but I'm doing it in a way that I know you will enjoy. That's hard and a big challenge. I can't quite imagine doing it, but I would like to do it. Okay, this weekend we're going to this hotel and the plan is to not even leave. We're just going to chill out, go to the pool. I have like a violent reaction to that, which is like, well, why don't we just stay home? That's what we do at home. That's home. But I think that would be an interesting experiment for you.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely interesting. I mean, I think I feel the same way you do. It feels like maybe squandering a weekend. Yeah. Or fettering away when you could be doing something new or entertaining.
I get it. When I go on a place, I'm like, when am I coming back here? I mean, I'll be tired later. Let me see every single thing there is so that I have all of these memories packed away. But the truth is, like, I have great memories of like just chilling out in the woods with Natasha or being on a veranda. I mean, I really do. So I think like I said, like keeping an open mind and does she have an open mind, or is she just like, no, I am who I am?
Well, she definitely does have an open mind, which is helpful. Like, and our communication is really good in that sense. But she also, I mean, she straight up has like neurodivergencies and things that just her nervous system is literally like not equipped to like do a whole day of activities.
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna start saying that.
What's that? My nervous system is not equipped to do a whole day of activities. Oh, that's great. I'm sorry, I can't make the Zoom meeting today.
Listen, I think that I think you just need to, in your interactions with her, just have this underlying voice. Like, is this the right energy for me?
That's an ongoing voice he should have.
Well, just heighten your senses, because it sounds like you kind of think maybe you guys aren't right for each other. And, I'm just saying you should listen to that.
Well, I don't know.
And try to challenge her a little bit. And if it really isn't working, say, is this enough for me? Because if she's like, listen, I am not going to go out with you, but I'm going to be home. It's like, it might not be the right person because you're still young. You can still meet somebody else.
I think that we've gotten to it. But I think...
It's true. How old are you?
Yeah, we're in our early 30s. I'm 30.
I think like Natasha's right in a way. She's severe as is her character, but she's right in a way, which is you just have to know that neither of you is really going to fundamentally change. You guys can take a step towards each other, but there's no possibility that you guys are going to.
But what if she can't take a step because she's neurodivergent?
That sounded sarcastic, Natasha, and that was ableist and dismissive of real issues that people struggle with. But no,
people like us.
But it doesn't matter if she is neurodivergent, and that is something that you have to put into your calculator when you're calculating your future with this person. She's not only has a disposition that is this way, you're saying she's got a physiology that is this way. So that's like a reality that you have to kind of go, okay, this is the reality. But you also, your hair would suggest that you also are neurodivergent. And no, I'm just kidding. You are also a person who is fundamentally who you are. Neurodivergence is nothing more than like an expression of who you are and what your body and brain is. And that's true for you.
Then why are some people neurodivergent and some people aren't?
Because what do you mean? Well,
I'm not neurodivergent.
I would beg to differ, but no. What I'm saying is neurodivergence is just describing an attribute that is true about a person, right? Like sometimes those attributes are more and less extreme, but they are still just like who a person is, right? My mother is deaf. I have friends that struggle with depression. I have friends that have mania. I have friends that like to do experiences and pack life full of going out, and people that like to chill.
But I have all of that, and why do people say that?
Honey, let's not get into the weeds on what neurodivergence is. My point is that it only is in the final analysis a description of who you are, what your personhood is. And so that's who she is, and you're who you are, and neither of you is going to really fundamentally change. And so you have to just go like, am I getting more positive and lovingness and additiveness out of this relationship than I am struggling with the fact that we're so different? I mean, that's the ultimate calculation of every relationship, neurodivergent or not, is this adding more to my life than I'm having to sacrifice? Because every relationship includes sacrifice and includes a great deal of additive stuff. And it's just it's that fucking 7 laws of making a relationship work. We're reading this book right now about couples. What is it called? 7 principles that make marriage work. I don't know, whatever it is. One of the things that it said is that a successful relationship, this is not a quote, but it's close enough. A successful relationship is a couple that has found a way to have the positive parts of their relationship exceed the negative and the conflict, because every relationship is filled with negative and conflict no matter what. It's just about percentages. If it's 70% positive, 30% negative, well, we can work with that. If it's the other direction, that is not what I want in my life. And I think that's that understanding and being really clear about like the parts of a relationship that are not going to change is like, that's the roadmap to figuring out if it's the right one for you.
And when you do take her on, your more energetic lifestyle choices, do you feel guilty the whole time? Is she complaining? Is that like the dynamic that's there when you're being your best self? Because if that is, that's no way to live. So I was 38 when I met Moshe.
Mm-hmm. She really wants you to break up with your partner.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Yeah,
but
the message is clear. Natasha's gonna try and get a diagnosis and get me a different relationship.
But I'm definitely less on that tip, but more on the tip of like both parties in a relationship have to be working towards, making the other person happy, and both parties in a relationship have to be working towards making themselves happy and finding that balance. When you find that balance, like, I hate to be so clinical, but I really do think of relationships as like, and life really is like an equation. When you find the balance and you look and you go, oh, okay, this is better for me than it is not in my life, I'm in, and I can work with that. I think I can work with that is like the ultimate relationship motto. I can work with that, or I don't think I can work with that.
all right, Luke, did we help you at all?
Yeah, this was great. This was super helpful. I appreciate it. Giving me a lot to think about. And I think there is, like couples therapists talk about, like, there's two individuals, but then there's also the couple.
Yes.
And I think we've kind of had a lot of our own individual interactions and maybe need to kind of think about what that third piece is.
It's called date night, baby.
But you summed it up better than I did, than we did. Is you're right. Like, that's how I would describe the dichotomy you were presenting. I like this, she likes that. How do we find a way for one of us to be happy? And it's like there's a third option, which is that everybody can be happy, all three entities. The couple can be served by making some sort of pax romana, and the individuals can be served by allowing people the space to go do their own thing in their own way.
Did you say pax romana?
Yeah, the peace of Rome, there was a great like peace treaty,
Oh.
Like finding a way that works together. But then
Pax Romana.
I mean, I don't even know if I used it correctly, to be honest with you.
All right.
I didn't need to be called out about it.
I mean,
one of the things I hate that Natasha does is she calls me out when I speak Latin. And I hate that. I've always hated that. She knows I hate that.
No, I like that a guy can speak Latin.
All right. Well, good luck out there, and good luck with your couple, and may you have many adventures to come.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it, and appreciate the show.
You're awesome.
Great.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Luke.
I want a saw. I would take a saw.
I want to make I want to make a painting after every time I get back from a cool city that
cool.
I visit.
That's a cool energy.
That would be fun to make a painting for Tacoma, where I just was.
it
would just be like
fit to put it on a saw. Honestly,
there was a lot of empty office space, and
I like Tacoma.
gray
I don't know what
skies.
to tell you. I thought it was nice.
All right, well, listen.
I'm a Pacific Northwest boy.
Listen, probiotics. Everyone's talking about them. Everyone's talking about their dang guts. But I gotta say, I tried this out and I have been feeling never better. Probiotics can't help with most of your gut decisions, but if your gut needs a little support, Ritual has your back. I started taking Ritual probiotics, and I have to say, a lot of my issues, can't really say what they were specifically, but they feel much better. I love Ritual. Every evening I take my daily 3-in-1 prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic with 2 of the world's most clinically studied probiotic strains to support the relief of mild and occasional bloating, gas, and diarrhea. I have to say, I just trust Ritual. Probiotics provide fuel to the cells that make up the gut lining to support a healthy gut barrier. Delayed release capsules designed to help survive the harsh conditions of the upper GI tract. All in one minty capsule. No refrigeration needed. I hate when they make you refrigerate half the vitamins, then you forget to take them. This is easy. Ritual is also an industry leader in sustainability standards. Ritual uses scientific tools to select lower carbon packaging, prioritize sustainably sourced ingredients, and set ambitious climate goals. And if that weren't enough, Ritual is a female-founded B Corp, meaning they are holding themselves accountable to not just their company's financial health, but also the health of people and our planet. Oh, what a weird coincidence that a woman has finally done that. A female-owned company. All right, listen, there is no more shame in your gut game. Symbiotic Plus and Ritual are here to celebrate, not hide your insides. And you can get 20% off your first month for a limited time at ritual.com/honeymoon. Start Ritual and add Symbiotic Plus to your subscription today. That's ritual.com/honeymoon for 20% off.
Okay, Natasha, that was a emotional call, a psychologically astute call.
He was funny.
He was funny. He had a great haircut.
Said I was going to try to get myself a neurodivergent diagnosis.
He did. He kind of roasted you. Or is that a roast? Listen, let's hear some secrets. Because that's my favorite part.
Oh, hello, Natty Legs and Moshizzle. So my secret is that when I was younger, I used to call sex lines.
Yes.
I was underage at the time. And I would pretend to be, so I would call which sex lines did I call? Oh my God. I think it was the male one. Yeah, I would talk to other guys.
No shit.
And I would pretend I was a woman. And I would do a voice. I did a voice, you guys. And I would so I would talk like this. Oh yeah. And the guys would get all horny and hot. And then at the end of the phone call, I would reveal my real voice and they'd freak out. And the other part of my secret is I used to call these 1-900 numbers from my grandparents' house sometimes. And I racked up hundreds of dollars in phone calls. And to get rid of them, my parents had to tell them that it was basically they just said, oh, I don't know. My parents knew what was going on, but they had to lie to my grandparents and say that they didn't so that they could get rid of the charges. So, yeah. Bye.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, that was a pretty good voice. Why was that voice turning guys on?
Well, it tells you how horny guys are. Like, even if they call and it's like the witch from Snow White, they're still like, well, if you say you're a lady, I'll go ahead and jerk it to you. By the way, when I was a teen, I was so horny. I used to call 900 numbers all the time. I mean, in fact,
my God, really?
One of my famous stories.
But don't the
is that
moms?
I spent every penny of my bar mitzvah money on phone sex, but I would also call male ones because they were free. That's how horny guys are. I would switch my sexual orientation because I was like, well, you know what? It's free.
Didn't you know your parents would see it on the bill?
Yeah, but you're so horny when you're that young. It's like the fog of cum, You can't even see. You can't see past it.
I see.
You never called a phone sex line in your life?
No.
No. Yeah. What's funny is it's kind of RIP phone sex a little bit because the internet made it so you don't need phone sex anymore because they got that ODP.
What's that?
On-demand porn.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm
Are
sure.
you down with ODD?
ODP.
ODP.
Yeah, you know me. I mean, the truth is, I'm sure phone sex exists in some niche market still, but really the heyday of phone sex was directly before the internet. Nobody needs that anymore. Nobody needs it.
All right, well, let's listen to another secret.
Hi, it's me. Jerk your little pud to me. Come on, buddy. Take out your balls and dick and jerk it off. Come into this apple and I'll give it to Snow White.
Imagine getting turned on by that. Guys are so horny. I like that he was both jerking off and pulling a prank on a gay panic.
Oh, and then he started talking in his normal voice.
Gay panic hetero boys. He's like, he's getting off, and then at the end he's like, ha ha, what's up, brother? It's me. Ha ha ha.
All right, let's hear another.
Hi, Moshe and Natasha. I am watching the State of the Union right now, and I had to call you and tell you that I'm horrified that I find Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, in Republican piece of shit.
I get it.
Kind of hot. I had to tell someone because it's awful. Bye.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think I get it. He is actually kind of hot.
Every Republican looks like he's an alcoholic.
No, but not Mike Johnson. Not Mike Johnson. Not old Johnson.
I have to admit, I don't. Ooh.
He's kind of...
He has rosy... He looks like Rosie. He looks like a Victorian child.
Yeah.
He has rosy cheeks.
I mean, honestly, Natasha, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you think it would be kind of fun and hot to fuck a Republican? Like your political adversary?
No.
I do.
I
do.
I have an artists only policy in
Sarah
my pussy.
Huckabee Sanders, she could get it. You have an artist only policy on your pussy? Interesting. I'm like, if you want to build that wall, I'm trying to build that ball. You know what I mean?
You think it'd be hot because you like those like rock hard fake tits?
I know. I just think there's something about sleeping with somebody that you have angst towards.
Oh, ooh.
You know,
I don't have that.
There's something hot about that. I can kind of.
You want to like have sex with someone who you're also repulsed by?
Who you're not repulsed by, but who you have an antipathy towards. Yeah, I really can't see it. Now, I'm trying to think who I would. I mean, this is bordering on just being offensive, but which Republican congresswoman do I desire the most? Ooh, isn't Tulsi Gabbard a Republican now?
She's cute.
I would take her surfing.
What about AOC?
AOC is not a Republican.
I know, but I'm just wondering if you would. And now I want to know who you think is
AOC
hot.
AOC is beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course, sure.
Would you bang Kamala?
Kamala. She would probably lock me up if I didn't perform correctly. I'd find myself spending a month in jail.
Who's that Republican woman who was on your podcast or who was on Problematic?
Oh,
with the long blonde hair.
Ann Coulter.
Would you bang Ann Coulter?
No, but I would. This is gonna
This
is gonna horrify everybody, but I would invite her for dinner. She was kind of I mean, yes, I find the things she says to be straight up ghoulish on a like Skeletor level, but I did find her to be interesting.
That seems wrong to hang out with her if you think that.
Wrong?
Huh?
Is it wrong to hang out with people you vehemently disagree with?
I don't know. Oh, what if they're racists?
I love that. No, yeah, I hear you. What if they're racist? What if Ann Coulter is racist?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying in general, is
Yes.
it weird to hang out with people you vehemently disagree with? Kind of. Like ideologically, if you're in a completely different place and you don't agree on morality, it seems weird to hang out with them.
Racist is a line that I would draw, yes, but I do think talking to people that you vehemently disagree with is probably better than not, and just deciding that they aren't real human beings. Anyway, the point of all this is I think we should all fuck Mike Johnson. And I think it could bring real peace and healing in our country. If honestly, if AOC started dating Mike Johnson, I feel like there could be peace in the land. So I want to just put that into the zeitgeist.
All right, let's listen to another secret.
Hi, Natasha and Moshe. I love you both very much. I'm a big fan. And I have a secret. A while ago, I went on a first date with a guy, and it seemed like it was going all right at first, and then we got on the subject of pronouns, and he said that he wouldn't use people's preferred pronouns if they didn't look like the gender that he thought they looked like. So basically, he's transphobic. And then we were talking about something else. I started talking about evolution, and he was like, okay, so you believe evolution is real? And I was like, yes, I believe evolution is real. So normally both of these things would be red flags for me, and I'd probably leave immediately. And they were red flags for me, but my secret is that I kept dating him because he was a sub, like a submissive, and his kink was that he was a service sub, so he liked to like clean and do chores and stuff for bossy women. So I kept dating him so that he would clean my apartment. And so yeah, he cleaned my apartment, and I called him like a bitch boy and a little simp and servant and stuff like that. So it didn't last very long, but that's my secret.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. And she's lying when she says the only reason she kept dating him was because he cleaned her apartment. She kept dating him. I'm guessing here because I don't know her, but she kept dating him because
she got to whip him and
it was
gag
hot
him.
to humiliate this bigot. You know, like it was hot to have this kind of person who she had an antipathy towards clean her house and allow her to call him a submissive bitch boy simp sucker. Like, I mean,
service sub.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about. There's something hot about it. Oh, but it reminded me, I was listening to a podcast episode this week, and do you know that black women have the Beyonce question on dates? Have you ever heard about this?
No, what's that?
It basically, and maybe not just black women, but it's definitely like black women will ask a date, oh, what do you think of Beyonce on the first date? And it's a litmus test, that question. If they go, oh, I don't know, she's just like too much, or I'm not into her, it's like a red flag. It's almost like a velvet rope question. Like, it's like, do you have red flags, and can I allow you to the second date? I mean, she sounded, our last caller sounded like hers was pronouns and evolution, which is a pretty, I was curious. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, they'll say, what do you think of Beyonce? And if they answer the question incorrectly, then that person goes, oh, I don't think I want to date this person. Or I put them in this kind of category. Did you ever have any questions like that? Like,
well, if someone was transphobic, I would not date them. If someone was a Republican, I would not date them.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking when you did date people. Did you ever ask questions specifically to get their answer, not because you were actually just fully curious about the question, but because it had like, it was like almost like a test?
Not really.
Like, I have a friend who asks girls, do you know who David Lynch is? And if they don't know who David Lynch is, he's like, I don't think we're compatible. Did you ever have anything like that?
No, I didn't.
You're not at liberty to say?
No, I just think that by the time I was dating someone, I kind of knew that they were cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I knew that they like didn't have, but yeah, of course, you're always getting to know someone.
Have you ever had a really red flag situation come up?
God, I think I just always date cool people. Oh yeah, no, I had a red flag situation.
Yeah, what was it?
But it was different. It was more like grifter. It was like, oh, on the second date, you don't have your wallet.
Really?
And you make us go to the most expensive restaurant in New York City.
And you had to pay?
Yeah, but it was like, if that's already the dynamic. And I was 23 and he was like 42.
Well, that's cool. And so you sense a red flag, and that you therefore walked away from the relationship after that second date and didn't like move to another continent.
No, I did move to Australia to be with him. I'm just saying.
So it didn't quite, your red flag detector didn't quite protect you.
But no, there wasn't like a question. But also I could see how like 40-year-old men who date 20-year-olds are like, hey, do you know who Scorsese is?
Well, but this
and if you don't, I'm not going to date you. It's like, well, then why don't you date people your own age?
Well, what about the Beyonce question? And I imagine, by the way, that's black women. I imagine white women everywhere are currently ramping up. What are your thoughts on Taylor Swift? How'd you like Barbie? That could be a good one. Hey, how'd you like Barbie? What do you think of Margot Robbie not getting nominated for the Oscar? Any thoughts on that? I think there's going to be a lot more like ideological litmus tests because things are getting less and less clear who's on what side.
Exactly, especially with AI coming to like shake it up a little, shake it off and shake it up.
Write us and tell us your
litmus test,
dating litmus test questions, because I am curious. This was on This American Life. They were talking about how when a question is the question, but it actually means something else, right? It doesn't really mean, you're not really interested in what they think of Beyonce. You are only interested in it through the lens of like a metaphor for who you really are. All right, folks, if you would like to be a secret leaver or a guest on our podcast, you can leave your secrets at 213-222-8608. And by the way, if you've always wanted to get some advice and don't want to come on the podcast, you can leave it on the Secrets Hotline. You can just ask a question. We can answer it right there. We can do that.
Yeah,
we're nimble.
Send us an email.
If you want to be on the podcast.
endlesshoneymoonpod@gmail.com.
And don't forget our live show, The Netflix is a Joke Festival, May the 4th, and you can get in free if we pick you to be one of the couples or people that we give advice to there. Natasha, it's been a lovely time doing this podcast with you. You took a step towards me, and I took a step towards you. I want to paint a saw to commemorate this.
Okay, I love you.
I love you too.